how do we reduce the amount of open notional risk that we have? So we don't want a complex derivatives portfolio in an environment where Europe's just more unstable. So we're thinking about counterparty risk, about the complexity of the portfolio, about reducing our exposure to southern and peripheral Europe, maintaining those postures while these events unfold.
Okay, so I imagine as your team's, by the way, looking through these various risks, is there a surprise counterparty that you've picked up in the past couple of weeks?
No, there's not. Our treasury team is extraordinarily good at being on top of counterparty risk management. You know, the industry had a huge wake-up call back in 07, 08. You know, the near failure Bear Stearns, the default of Lehman Brothers. That was a huge wake-up call for the industry. People's collateral management processes are much better today. Their counterparty risk management is much better. And there's a huge sea change that took place in many products, which is the rise of central clearing. So today, for example, almost all interest rate swaps in the US and Europe are cleared to clearing houses, and that has dramatically reduced counterparty risk.
Let me walk through some of the other headlines. Ken Griffin on trade. Right now, what do you make of the fight that's taking place? What do you make of some of the comments that Larry Kudlow just made on behalf of the administration?
So rather than comment on Larry's direct remarks, the president unquestionably has the right mission. The United States, post-World War II, embraced a series of trade deals, one, to help rebuild war-torn Europe. You need to remember that the United States got out of World War II economically intact as compared to the rest of the world, and we were willing to use a series of policies to help the world regain its footing. Those were absolutely the right moves for us to make as a nation. With respect to China and opening of trade to China, the view was that a strong trade relationship to China would bear fruit in a number of different dimensions. Some of that has clearly been true. But the big picture is, and the president's right, over the years, we've generally left the table with a deal inferior to our trading counterparties. And we need to address that. The current strategy, I don't understand, but I'm not party to the strategy itself. We've got an open battle with many of our allies on many fronts. To me, it strikes me as an incredibly complicated set of negotiating tactics to have so many open fronts simultaneously. And I do hope that the president's able to land a success with Mexico, with Europe, with China to help to set the marker for what the U.S. views as an equitable outcome that will drive closure with our other trading counterparties.
Do you think he's doing it right?
I'm just not in a position to comment on that. You have to be in the room to know. It's like, you know, the Hamilton play. I'm not in the room. I'm not in a position to comment on it. I don't know what the relationships look like with Xi at a personal level to Trump, for example.
Let me turn it around. When you think about companies that are doing business in some of these countries, have you changed your exposure to them in any way as a result of all of this?
Absolutely. This goes back to the portfolio managers have that very clear understanding of each of their companies they invest in and their sensitivities to U.S. trade policy. So they're reacting in real time to incremental information and adjusting their positions fluidly. And if I look, for example, at our profitability decomposition, it very clearly appears that over the last couple of months, our portfolio managers have successfully traded their positions given the unfolding trade battle that's taking place around the world. But let me be clear. We as a world want to get back to a set of more stability in trade policy. Tariffs are incredibly damning to consumers, to companies, to capital formation. They discourage investment. They reduce productivity. So the status quo, the U.S. can best absorb this as compared to our trading counterparties. Our economy is so large, so strong, but this is not where we want to be for a prolonged period of time.
We don't want to be with the tariffs, or we don't want to be where we are today?
We don't want to be with the tariffs.
Hey there, thanks for checking out CNBC on YouTube. Be sure to subscribe to stay up to date on all of the day's biggest stories. You can also click on any of the videos around me to watch the latest from CNBC. Thanks for watching.